Hi folks, my name is Stephen and I'm the winemaker for Keswick Vineyards, and all of a sudden I'm a blogger, but I thought we'd do something a little bit different and do a video this evening. And with me I have Mr. Al Schoenberg, who is the proprietor of Keswick Vineyards, and we're going to be talking about the Heritage Estate Reserve. But if you're a wine lover like the two of us are, you know, if you think of classic wines, you might think of the 1983 Opus, you might think of the 1964 Lafite Rothschilds. I was going to be dramatic and throw it over my shoulder.
No, you won't.
Yeah, but the reason, you know, Al got into winemaking, or, you know, owning a winery, and the reason I got into winemaking is we want to create a wine that one day will be spoken about, like wine connoisseurs, you know, speak about these two wines. And the reason we're talking about this wine is because we officially released it today in the tasting room, and it's our 2007 Heritage Estate Reserve. Obviously we're in Virginia, which poses unique challenges. But every now and again a year comes across, as is 2007, where you just think you've got something magical and you've got to make the most of it. And I know, Al, this is one of your favorite wines. You drink a lot of it and you've got high expectations to it. So why don't you tell everyone that's watching why you think it's such a great wine, and why you chose Virginia, and where do you see the future of Keswick and Virginia going?
All right, well, you know, first of all, I guess before we settled in Virginia, we were looking very closely at properties in the Sonoma Valley. But for other reasons, for a whole lot of reasons that we don't have time to get into, we chose the Charlottesville area. And with that, we thought, well, we know we can make a really good V&A, we know we can make Norton, but I never thought we could really make a world-class red. And in 2007 we did with the Heritage, which is why this particular wine is so special to me.
Now it's not 100% cab. It's actually blended with a little bit of Merlot, 20% Merlot, but it is aged for 22 months in French oak. Now, you know, as a business owner, the practicalities don't really allow us to age a wine that long. Also another 15-16 months in the bottles, so you know that's very rare for our wines to be aged this long before we release them. But why don't you jump into it and tell us and what you smell and what you taste, and you know, what do you think we should do? Should we drink it now? Should we lay it down? And just give us your personal spin on a wine that you and I like.
Well, because my personal cellar that we're doing this video in has so much of it, I can drink it now. But if you're only going to buy a bottle, I think I would let it age a couple more years. It's not even close to its peak yet. What I get out of this wine, sorry for the long silence there, is it's so full-bodied and well-balanced, but you can tell it's still somewhat young. I would give it another 2 years, but this is definitely a world-class wine. I'm very proud of it. It's something I never thought we'd be able to do here, and the fact that you did it and made it is very special to me. Cool.
The one thing that strikes me a little bit is, you know, when you talk about Virginia reds, you know, a lot of people associate that with greenness and herbaceousness, and I think you agree that there's nothing green and herbaceous out. It's got a lot of fruit. It reminds me a lot of Washington State, not so much Napa, just it's bright, it's juicy, it's got that dark fruit kind of profile. It might not be as hedonistic as Napa, but I get a lot of sort of Washington State characteristics out of this.
Yeah, and I see where you're coming from with that. I think it has a lot of European characteristics to it, but you know, there's something, I'm not sure it's any of those things. I think it's a great Virginia red, and I think it's one of the first great Virginia reds.
Now, when you bought the property in 2000, do you really think you could say that? You said, you alluded that we could make Norton, we could do Virginia, but Cabernet wouldn't have been high on your profile in terms of quality.
No, I never thought it was possible, and I never had expectations to make a wine like this. So, you know, the fact that you did and we did, that Keswick did, just shows you what the potential is, I think, for what we can do in the future.
Well, great. Well, there you have it. Our 2007 Heritage Estate Reserve officially released today. 80% Cabernet, 20% Merlot. You know, he thinks it's French, I think it's Washington State, but the one thing we do agree on is that it's pretty darn good. So Al, cheers. You know, cheers to many more sort of successful vintages, and cheers to you, the consumer. I hope you enjoy the wine as much as we do.